It's a helmet. It's shaped like a helmet. Obviously, a helmet needs to shape to fit a human head, so it's not surprising that this looks like a helmet from another brand. But can you talk about perhaps some of the limitations that are not present in 3D printing the helmet that enables you to get freedom? Obviously, the one of the key ones you mentioned already was I get a custom fit to my exact head. But what other things, what other freedoms do you have using this technology?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So, um, the most common manufacturing technology is also typically kind of the most pervasive in helmet technologies, right? It's injection molded EPS foam. And the tooling, like the molds that they need to make to inject the foam into, you can think of it as a cavity, right, that you effectively fill in. They're typically machined, they're very expensive to produce. And so that's why you have these limited number of sizes. It's not practical to machine a solid billet of steel to injection mold a single helmet for an individual. So that's one limitation. The second is what I just mentioned, which is virtually every cycling helmet is made out of almost 100% EPS foam. It's very inexpensive material. It's fantastic for keeping your beer cold, right, for a tailgate party. But the converse is also true that if you're riding, it's trapping a lot of heat in your head. And the traditional way of getting around that, of course, is punching holes into it so that you have vent channels and whatnot. But now what you've done is you have literally a giant hole in this foam object, and you're compromising the integrity, the structural integrity of that. Like foam is not a particularly durable, material. You don't see houses particularly, built on foundations of foam. And so the moment you start punching holes in it, you're compromising the safety. And so for our helmets, where we've developed a very sophisticated variation of these hex structures. You have perfect airflow, but you also have fantastic crumple zones that have been proven in aerospace and Formula One racing technologies. Um, and then finally, the additive manufacturing technique itself allows us to do very novel geometries and shapes that are just not practical with injection molding. Some of those hexes that I showed you, for example, are actually hollow. You would never be able to create a mold that sophisticated where there are hollow parts in it, because you would have to have like sub molds in it that you're like, removing. And it turns out that that's typically just not practical at all.